Okay, so we're back at it again. It's another part of Metaphor, ReFantazio. Let's go.
What is it? All right then. Go. Hello there. Now then. Yeah. All right then.
Let's go. This is on set.
All right then.
Let's go. And what is it?
All right then. All right then.
That's what we're pointing at. Excuse me. I need a moment of your time. Gonna be tough. Happy to hear that. Take care.
All right. Well then.
What is it?
Amazing.
Fancy a bit of info?
Hey!
Just between us. All very nice.
Amazing.
What is it?
All right then. Let's go.
This rain just won't.
This
there.
Can we talk?
Thanks.
Why did this happen? All right then. Go.
What is it?
Amazing.
Yeah. You're a big help.
Next up is... Oh, right!
No.
Exactly! You did it!
All right.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
The announcement is soon.
Hello.
No.
We shall soon know. There are little points to plating it further. Until then, let us simply do what we can as we wait for events to unfold. Since this grand announcement is happening tomorrow.
All right then.
Tolerant.
All right then.
What is it?
Oh, I am grateful. All right then.
Wait, what is that? Heart. Oh yeah, it is tolerant.
Oh,
Greeting, elder boy. We don't see many of your tribes in the royal capital. However, similar in ways. Have you heard of the Master tribe? You too are really seen in Grand Tribe.
I see.
Of course, no, it's understandable. We really make ourselves known to the public after all. So then, any interest in our history and why we live our lives secluded and oppressed? I'll share, if you'd like to know. Mr. History. Learning more about them may help us better support those in need, right?
Pleased to hear it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go elsewhere and chat, shall we?
Well then.
Our tribe is called the Mysterious. Perhaps the most obvious part of our culture is that we wear masks, just like this one I have on right now. Next thing you'll notice, we all have 3 eyes. 3 eyes? Ghost, everything story. What's it like to see y'all? I thought I cannot see things. You can see the world almost exactly as you do. However, the mysterious faith is vastly different from that of other tribes. We might only say different from the state religion section. sure our beliefs belong to Sikhism? Was that your first time hearing about it? Sikhism? It's definitely not the only religion in this country. Sikhism is the belief open to all. Perhaps that is why, at times, politics get involved and distort its doctrine. For that reason, we refrain from revealing our faith to everyone. It's our only means of keeping our doctrine the way it should be. Oh my god, I'm so tired. That doesn't sound like the best solution, but I'm guessing it's complicated. Some try to spread our teachings outside the island, but things quickly grow complex, and one must tread carefully. Other tribes have a tendency to jump to conclusions. That is why Sikhism has gathered many believers, and now we are scorned as the mass tribe. That is who we are forever in our history.
All right. Pleased to hear it.
May it be worth telling you more. Next time, I'll tell you about our basic doctrine if the chance comes. Hearing all that intrigue, it's time to head back to them.
What is it?
All right then.
Let's see, who can I talk to at night?
Let's go.
Now, how did I wind up here? Oh-ho!
Ah, the fairy and the elder. I'm glad we meet again. I believe we're in the middle of a story. Would you care to
What do you
hear the
wanna
next
do?
part? If you listen to this other man again, your imagination will probably improve.
My thanks.
Oh, let's head to the tavern. Let's see. I believe we left off with an ancestor being unable to find the mysterious fairy to thank her for saving his life. We hit a bit of a time skip here, as this next part concerns my grandfather. Bear with me. My grandfather was also a mischievous sort, and one day he too ventured in the forbidden cave and became hopelessly lost.
Awful.
Wow, mischievous really does run in the family. So it does. Anyways, lost in the dark, what should my grandfather find? A fairy, of course. She was beautiful, just as the fairy his grandfather had described. He knew right away it was the same fairy. Again, I'm not going to help you this time, said the fairy, rolling her eyes. Oh my god. My grandfather could only blurt out a confused, what? It was the first time he ever been to the cave. After all, then the fairy said, don't blame me if you get eaten by the beast. And that's when my grandfather realized the fairy was mistaken him for his grandfather. The boy you're thinking of is long gone. I'm his grandson, he said. The fairy considered this for a moment, then said, you people die so young. The fairy led my grandfather out of the cave like she did his grandfather before. The whole time, he kept his grandfather's regrets in mind. So before she could vanish, he turned to her and said, thank you for helping my grandfather. If you're wondering if history will repeat, I doubt it. My family had to leave that village when my grandfather grew up. So I'm sure you can appreciate how amusing I found it to find a fairy here in Grand Trad. My family's fate tied to the fairies. Well, I'm glad your family got closer with the fairy. Meeting you like this, who knows? Maybe it's really his fate.
All right.
Imagination.
Well then.
It would seem the disaster was averted.
Right then. Today's Fortin's big announcement.
Wonder what he's planning. I guess the church has to have some reaction to all that stuff the king said.
Whatever it is, Luis won't be able to just ignore it. This might be a day that goes down in history.
Ladies and gents, lend me your ears. Sanctifex Forden has spoken. The giant face in the sky, the massive rocks appearing throughout the land, and the mysterious voice claiming to be the past king. The Sanctus Church has officially recognized these happenings as the will of His Royal Majesty.
So it really is His Majesty?
And so, as His Majesty has decreed, whoever has gained the greatest trust of the people by the day of decision shall be our new king. This is a historic moment, good citizens. It's revolutionary. It's unprecedented. No matter who you are, you can take the throne.
Anyone?
Even me. If, and this is a big if, you are the person that all our people trust most in their hearts.
Maybe you could be king yourself, eh? You're popular enough.
Me? In charge? Well, that's the last thing this country needs. Right, let's review what we know, shall we? First, the new faces that have appeared on the rock. It shows us who's foremost in the running. We've worked out that much. The top 3 of the lot are also shown in the sky. Suppose that way you can see their inspiring faces anytime, anywhere.
Hold on. How's us common folk supposed to stand a chance against all these upper crusters?
Say you do become popular. With your face clear for all to see, surely that'd make you a prime target for assassination.
Not quite, friend. Not quite. A valid concern, but one His Majesty prepared for. Popular aspirants, at least those who make it onto the rock, are protected by royal magic. Assassinations off the table. Magic chains will spring to life and bind anyone who tries. I saw it happen with my own eyes to Count Luis's sorry assailant.
So, literally anyone could be king? Even a pauper? Or a slave? Or a criminal?
Hold on. You mean to say we might not be ruled by Clamar? What does that mean for us?
Right, I've said my piece. You know all I know. Now go forth, ladies and gents, and spread the word. Whether you're from our fair capital or the middle of nowhere, the crown's within your grasp. Anyone in the land could be our next king.
Interesting.
I heard the announcement. The church has chosen to recognize this face's words as crown sent and shall abide by them.
They conceded that one quickly. Though I suppose it's a hard thing to deny, what with the royal palace hanging up there in the clouds.
Had they rushed a coronation for His Eminence Forden, it would have dashed any hope of reinstating His Highness. A small comfort.
I can tell from your face there's some bad news, too.
Do you recall those chains that froze Alsace in place? It seems that, too, was part of His Majesty's magic. Plainly, any candidates of sufficient favor cannot be deposed by force.
That's not good.
No, 'tis not indeed. This marks Luis as nigh untouchable. I will still seek to find him. Yet, even should we stand before the man himself, we could not kill him.
No! If we can't kill him, then how do we break the curse?
What the hell was the king thinking? Grius was trying to save his son. He died for it.
Even so, without this magic, no aspirant would be safe from assassination, leaving Luis to dominate through sheer martial strength. We appear to be at an impasse.
Everyone, have you seen Maria?
Did something happen?
I checked her room and she isn't there. She wouldn't just leave without telling anyone. I couldn't deal with losing both of them.
I'll go look for her.
You will? Thank you. When I think of what might happen to her...
If she left her room on her own, she must have had some reason.
Let's go search for her. If we head into town, we might find some clues.
Where?
You're kidding.
Where could Maria have gone? Oops.
Whatever.
Maria? Oh, you mean the kid? Yeah, I saw her earlier. Really? Where's she headed? The stairs north of the Sunshine Road, you know, by the general store. Didn't look to be running an errand, though. The general store, we might find someone else who saw her if we head there now.
Ridiculous.
Oi there!
The Sonic Man dropped his mag pouch around here. Well, I'm a damn fool, so I want to cash it immediately, but it ain't raining today. The worse weather, the better conversion rate. So when the sun comes out, you'll be getting less.
Ridiculous. Tournament? This is all right.
Hey, listen.
How to handle this?
Hello. Say, you're looking for a little girl. Have you seen anyone like that? Could it be the half-bloods? If so, then yes, I did see her. She was muttering Papa and looking all sad. I saw her go through the back alley. Maybe she could she have gone to the Grand Cathedral?
You sound like a damn fool.
You sound like a damn fool, you know that?
I'm out of ideas.
Sanctifex Portal. What should I do?
Tournament?
Hello there.
Do you know the little half-blood girl? You can't let a girl like that walk the streets alone. You're just asking for trouble. She just went inside. Wait, you let her pass? Why? The way her eyes look. I'd not be the one to stop her now. She's been coming to pray for a while, no matter how many glares she gets.
Huh? Why?
What are you doing here, little missy? Everyone's worried
Everyone
about
was
you.
worried about you.
Sorry. Papa hasn't come home. And I always come here whenever I'm feeling lonely. One time he came here to get me. I remember because he called my name. But I pray. And he still doesn't come back. Maybe because the cathedral is broken?
Maria,
Miss Fabienne says Papa can't come home anymore. But I know Papa's gone away. He's gone somewhere I'll never see him again. Hasn't he? It's going to be so lonely. The loneliest it's ever been. But I have to be strong, don't I? But if it gets any lonelier, I don't know if I can do it.
I'm sorry. I promised we'd all come back together.
Why does everyone always leave? Mum was sick. The king and prince are gone. And now Papa? Why does everyone always leave? Is it my fault? I really did my best to be a good girl, but...
It's our fault.
What? How?
You?
Listen to me, all right? Your father, he was fighting a very bad man. We were with him, but we couldn't protect him. I'm sorry.
I remember Papa saying something like that. He said, a really bad man might be our king. Is that part of it?
It'll work out somehow. I'm sure of it.
I hope the next king is as nice as you. Then maybe things won't always be so sad.
I think I understand the king's intentions now. Maybe this is the sort of tragedy he was trying to end. Maybe he wanted a world where the crown goes to one who acts like a king ought to. Not whoever's willing to spill the most blood to do it.
You may be right, but much as we wish it, this is not a fight that might be ended through words alone.
Even so, we have to try.
Maria, you're safe! Oh, you had me worried sick.
Sorry for leaving on my own.
No, it's all right.
Miss Fabienne, I'm hungry.
Maria, yes, that's right. Let's all sit down for some supper together. Thank you for finding her.
It looks like she's worked things out.
She's a strong girl.
But we've more troubles ahead. How now do we resolve this curse upon His Highness?
If Luis is the curse's caster, we've got to kill him to dispel it. So how do we do that if he's shielded by the king himself?
I wish I could report back, but the prince is still asleep, and we're losing time. I don't think going back to the village is an option.
We cannot lose faith yet. There must be some further course we can pursue.
Well, there's the church's announcement. I expect they're trying to stop a wave of rival candidates from flooding the standings. I doubt the church would accept this popularity contest if they didn't already have a plan to game it.
True enough. I can only wonder at their aims. For today, we should content ourselves with rest and recovery.
Sorry, did I wake you? Laying here, I always end up caught in my own thoughts. Grius and Maria. The prince. Just thinking in circles again. Not good, is it?
Let's think about it together.
Keeping me company, are you? You really are a strange one. My kind of strange, if I'm honest. That book, is that the novel you're always carrying around? Feels like months ago now that I spotted you buried in it on the carriage ride to the fort.
Want to read it?
If you don't mind, since we've finally some room to breathe. Oh, interesting. It's written through the lens of a fictional land. This bit's about the Utopia's security. In this world, there is no blood-stained contest for sovereignty. The people choose their sovereign from among themselves. One cannot put a sovereign to the sword to seize power. Such an act would be met with scorn and judged as murder. Taking power or wealth by force is seen as the most shameful of transgressions. Couldn't be further from reality, could it? We have a kingslayer on the brink of seizing the throne right now. And this idea of competing for public support. Here it sounds so commonplace, but the idea's thrown us all into chaos. Perhaps I'm overthinking, but it sounds almost like the aim of the king's magic. You suppose there's some common inspiration? Still, I don't imagine this would turn out well in the real world. In public opinion, tribal perspective always divides us. Besides, does a decision made by the people guarantee it's right? Tribal squabbles aren't always political. Take us Clamars, for example. It can be hard for us to see outside the bubble of our own worldview. We're the majority, and the tribe of the royal bloodline besides. That privilege can make us insensitive. A problem with no easy solution, I fear. Lofty words. I can hardly come to terms with my own ideal. Still, the discussions helped clear my head a little. I've been so fixated on killing Luis, but maybe we could look into whether that's really the only way to lift the curse. Sleep should come easier now. I think I'll give it another chance. Wait, how long have you been asleep?
Time marches on.
and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Ladies and gents, have you heard the news? The curtain's about to rise on the show of a lifetime. To choose our new ruler, we're going to give all of you a chance to take center stage in a show of power for the whole kingdom. And we call it the Tournament for the Throne. Our aspirants will set out on a grand tour of the 3 allied nations' capitals, taking part in a variety of exciting trials. First, we have the Exhibition of the Brave. Slay a monster plaguing our fair people and bring its head to Oceania's capital in time. Biggest find takes the win. Official word is, this event's open to all. So what do you think, ladies and gents? Are you in it to watch, or in it to win?
Stroll? Why call us so early in the morning? What is that journal?
I had Fabienne bring it up. Something occurred to me, so I asked her to go through Grius' personal effects.
Hey, looks like he was investigating the curse too.
There's a note here. Given the spell's complexity, it must have required a scribed formula.
You mean to suggest Luis possesses a written composition of the curse somewhere? And if we can find that...
Yes! I'd wager, even if we can't kill Luis, we might still have a shot at breaking the curse.
But that attack took place years ago, didn't it? This curse's formula could be lost for good.
We have little choice but to hope it's not. I'm not saying it will be easy. And the real trick will be finding it. We wouldn't leave it unprotected.
That reminds me. A crier for the church was handing these out.
A flyer for the Tournament for the Throne. This popularity contest is state-sponsored now. An interesting gamble for those politicians. I like the bit about all this being in the interest of fairness, those weasels. But saying it's being organized by the state. The throne's empty. This smells like the theocracy at work. Probably Forden himself.
You think Forden's looking to fix the competition in his favor? He's been in first place this whole time.
In the interest of fairness, remember? If he wins a fair race, he gets legitimized, and Luis gets put on the back foot.
That bodes ill. Those with existing support could easily solidify their claim. Even should His Highness wake, he may lose the throne.
If we don't hurry and find a way to get close to Luis, we're sunk. What are we supposed to do?
We entered the tournament for the throne.
Let's enter this tournament for the throne.
Huh? Hey, were you even listening to us? Besides, the prince isn't exactly in a position to take part in...
Wait. It sounds crazy, but I think he might be onto something. This could be just the excuse we need to get close to Luis. He doesn't care about your tribe so long as you prove capable, yes? That's what Zorba was saying. Which means, even though the world looks down on you as an elder, having the power to kill humans puts you in his good grace.
You're going to make him a candidate for the...
If all we need to do is get Luis's attention, then that's sure to get the job done. If we're lucky, he might even try to recruit us.
I see. An undercover operation, is it? Quite a gambit. But it may well be our best chance at finding this formula.
Just hold on a second. Getting Luis's attention is all well and good. But remember who's actually risking their life here.
What do you think? Having heard all this, do you want to enter the running?
If it's for Maria's sake.
I see.
Right. In my ideal world, people can believe in their future. Their birth doesn't matter. No matter who someone is, they deserve a fair country. If it's to help achieve that, I will stand for the prince as a candidate for the throne.
Sheesh. So much for being a guide. Now you're the one leading me around.
Your resolve has marked you a fine fit for the role. I have trusted you with my life before, and would gladly do so again.
Good heavens. Haven't you put yourself in enough danger? Listen to me. I don't want you going down the same path he did. Are you really this set on running off again?
I have to carry on his legacy.
I see. Well, I'm sure he'd be glad to hear it. I'll be cheering for you in this mess of a competition. Truth be told, I wish I could do more than feed and shelter you.
What's the competition?
It's a big, grand race to see who will be the next king. The whole country will be watching.
So you're going to try and become king? Wow! Then I'll cheer for you as loud as I can.
You have your first advocate, it seems.
Suppose you'll have to actually try for the throne now, eh? Your Majesty.
That was the plan from the start.
That's the spirit.
Well, if we want Luis to notice you, we'll have to make quite a stir among the people. Maybe reaching for the throne will do it.
Does that mean you're not coming back?
No, we'll be back. Although we might be a while.
I don't like when it gets lonely.
Maria.
But I'll be cheering for you. I hope you win the race. You better not forget.
Now, we'd best get registration out of the way, but we need some legs for the journey. It's mostly lawless wastes between cities.
Judging by this specified deadline, we're unlikely to reach the Principality of Oceana's capital in time on foot.
I bet all these fancy nobles have their own gauntlet runners to ride in.
A carriage might save our chances, if we could find one. Perhaps we split up for now. I'll leave you two to the registration. They should be taking entrance at the recruitment center.
This should be the place, right?
Excuse us, we're looking to join the tournament for the throne.
Hey? Bit young, ain't ya? And who's the kid? He with you?
I'm the one entering.
You? Really?
I've not heard of any age restrictions. There a problem?
Well, I'd not have thought it, but you're an elder, ain't ya? And you want to be king. Well, the novelty of it might win you some looks.
Could you just do your job, please? Can he register or not?
Ah, an elder. Now that I think of it, weren't you in that pack of recruits that went off to the northern fort? Thought I heard they were all wiped out. What? We got a deserter turning up?
No, they said he'd just dragged the company down, so they left him at the capital. He, got on the captain's bad side.
Could swear I've seen you before, too. Well, hardly matters with no captain to verify it with. Go on, then. You can represent the lesser tribes so nobody complains.
Whew. That was a close one.
And, obviously, you're gonna need a carriage. Otherwise, the whole thing's off for you. You're obligated to attend the opening ceremony tomorrow. It'll be at the plaza at the Grand Cathedral. Don't be late.
We'll have to hope Hulkenberg can find us a carriage.
As for us, I expect we should see about finding a monster to slay. If it's not impressive enough, Luis won't look twice at you.
Some postings over there. They should be offering bounties on monsters the guard can't handle. Let's take a look.
Looks like everyone else had the same idea.
One of these bounties is bound to make me stand out. But which? Bigger is probably better.
Hang on!
There's nothing but small-time
on anything aside from monsters. Bounties include criminals too, right?
I suppose I've got one of those, yeah.
Let's see. Ugh, he's horrible. Heisme. A villainous kidnapper. Looks like the army's been trying to catch him for a while now.
This might just be perfect.
You have any idea who that is? That man's an elite. An ex-royal knight, they say. You'd make short work of a scrawny little urchin, you can be sure of that. Besides, didn't you hear what it is they're actually looking for?
Oh, of course. It's about whoever can bring in the biggest monster head, right?
If you imbeciles can't even get that straight, you've no chance at winning. They want kingly types, not children play acting.
Stuck-up little... Is that the kind of competition we can expect?
He was right about the rules, though. What are you thinking?
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
We're supposed to get a monster's head. So why are you going for a criminal? Any idea what he's up to?
Maybe it's because we don't actually have to win?
Sharp as always, Captain. Don't worry, I'll explain everything later.
As long as you can convince Hulkenberg, I guess.
Ho there! Are you really taking the bounty on Heisme? You three must be heaven sent. Please, would you listen to our plight? Your pardon, gentlemen. I'm Barden, a guard captain from Atira, a town to the south. The bounty on Heisme is up at my behest.
A guard captain? This fellow's made some powerful enemies.
We can't afford lenience. On top of his past crimes, Heisme has stooped to abducting our wee ones. Our children. Selling them off, some say. If our city becomes known for nightly disappearances, what sane resident would stay? Community and trade will dwindle and die.
But he's just a lone kidnapper, right? Even if he's some infamous criminal, why can't the guard handle it?
That's the trouble. He makes his hideout somewhere too dangerous for our soldiers to tread. Deep in the territory of vicious giant worms. We've no idea how he manages to operate out there without getting devoured himself.
I see. Tricky problem indeed.
I'd no choice but to swallow my pride and post a bounty. Yet no matter how many times I renew the bill, none have taken it. A pitiful sight, isn't it? A soldier who can't protect his home, whether by strength or by surrender. Laugh if you must.
We just want to help you.
You only cast away your honor in the name of protection. Nothing pitiful in that. Swallow your pride no more, man. We'll take your contract.
Thanks to you. That you'd accept such a perilous request. Even with this tournament looming over everything. Closure, thank you all. And thank God for bringing you to me. In that case, we shall meet in Martira, the old castle town. Please, make haste.
Well, no backing out of this now. You sure this is what we want?
Way I see it, if we want to make a big impact this late, it's going to take some creativity. Besides, this is apparently a knight-turned-kidnapper. The man can't be allowed to go on. What would His Royal Highness do in our place?
I guess that's fair.
I'll convince Hulkenberg. Somehow. You go on and accept the contract.
Look at that. All right, then.
Captain, what are you doing here? Don't tell me I should take it different. That's rich. A mere fledgling with no history or experience of seeking out?
No, thank you.
Stomach. Our leader of this country is a dignified man of great age, one with years of experience, yet upstart school children like you and Louis dare to. It hardly matters. You won't be able to fight much longer, so sugar as you like. I'd be happy to give it eulogy and funeral.
Hey!
Let's focus.
Let's call it.
You got the contract. Let's head back to the inn for now.
No registration issues, I trust?
No, indeed. And we found ourselves a perfect target.
Fine work.
Stroll.
See? She's convinced. Nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. I'll prepare a map of the surrounding areas as well. But never mind that. Have you found us a kingly carriage?
Well, I have made some arrangements. How best to put it? The vessel itself is without peer. Supposedly, it will come to us on the day of the opening ceremony.
You don't sound too sure about that.
No, I'm certain. All I mean to say is, well, you shall soon see for yourself.
Well, under the circumstances, I'll take what we can get. And setting that up in a day. Not so bad having a knight on our side.
You needn't speak so. In truth, I've just resigned from the Knight's Order. Though 'tis only my bond of service I relinquish, not my title. We will shortly be seeking Luis's esteem. Should it come to light that I am a knight in active service, it may jeopardize our efforts.
Still, you didn't hesitate to leave. I can tell you're serious about this.
'Twas not an abrupt parting. I've come to doubt the Order since returning to find them serving the Santifex and not the Royals. Those who refused the Church's rule were cast out for their defiance. I only hope those fallen knights found useful employ elsewhere.
Sounds like you've been through a lot too.
Well, in any case, we can focus on our bounty contract now. Let's make sure we get some proper rest tonight. Let's rest. Good night.
Can I come in?
Want to read some more?
Not today. You're all leaving tomorrow, right? I'll be cheering for you. So I just... Oh no. I promised Miss Fabian I wouldn't cry.
It's all right. I won't tell her.
Papa was trying to stop a bad man, you said. And that's what you're all doing too, isn't it? Please come back home safe. I'll be waiting here as long as it takes.
It's a promise.
All right. Promise? The next time I see you again. Can you tell me more about the outside world?
This one's important.
I never got a chance to say this to Papa. So, thank you. I'll go to bed now.
Captain, may I have a moment?
Good night.
I was hoping for a chance to speak before we set out. Since our meeting, I've done nothing but impose on you. Now, you risk your very life for this cause. 'Tis no easy burden. It pains me to see. When I think of how this may yet save His Highness, I lose sight of all else. Such disregard ill becomes me.
You truly are devoted to him, aren't you?
I suppose I am at that. A guiding oath of 12 years is not easily cast aside. But that book, we met once before, on a carriage bound for the capital. Do you recall?
Now that you mention it, I do.
My apologies. I thought only to minimize casualties, one way or another. So, 'tis a novel envisioning an ideal world. Curious to see a utopian novel these days. I'd thought them long since banned. You needn't worry. I've no intention of taking it from you. I've sometimes wondered why such books were forbidden. Rumors say the Sanctists objected to their contents. Yet I wonder, how could a simple book have possibly stung them so? Do you mind if I read a passage or two? So, it is a fiction written as if a personal account. This chapter seems to concern the system by which the nation's leader is decided. In this country, one cannot become even a statesman, much less sovereign, without the consent of the people. Those who aspire to statecraft must first solemnly swear before the people what they will do in service of their country. Should they earn title but break their word, they are denounced and stripped of power. Such is the authority of the people. In this way, it is the people who are the land's true king. Quite the opposite of our own country. Now I see why our upper echelons would abolish such texts. Had our lands embraced such accountability, perhaps His Royal Highness would not have suffered such a fate. No. As a knight, 'tis not my place to say. I must clear my head of these fantasies. In the end, clinging to a dream will do me no good. Oh, I suppose 'tis not so bad to dream now and then. It takes power to walk the path of our dearest hopes. Perhaps that is the purpose of this newfound strength. My dearest dream. 'Tis to save His Highness, even at the cost of my life. Nothing more.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Juna!
Lady Juna!
Far away sky, blue and clear. Echo my wish, so that all may hear. One and all born to this land, as here we stand. Let us greet the rising dawn, hand in hand. Far away sky.
Even I'm feeling the heat.
Well, I suppose it's time to fan the flames. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to the inauguration of the Tournament for the Throne! For the first time, the crown is anyone's to claim, as long as the aspirants can complete 3 grueling challenges.
Wow, a Sanctus Crier! He's perfect for this!
Let's discuss the venues. We kick off in the west, in the Pearl of the Coast, the Principality of Oceania's harbour city capital, Port Brilehaven. There, they face their first challenge, the Exhibition of the Brave. Each contender must bring back the head of a monster, a mark of their prowess and courage. Next, our would-be monarchs head east. Upon the misty peaks, we arrive in the Principality of Montario's beautiful city of faith, Altaberry Heights. And finally, our heroes make their well-deserved return home to Grand Trad. But first, let's do introductions. It's time to meet those risking their lives for the crown. Closest to the throne, I know him, you know him. It's Sanctism's one and only 78th Sanctifex, His Eminence, Forden!
Victory to Sanctifex Forden!
I claim no great ambition, nor any heated calls to action. All I wish is to restore order for our people and to safeguard our land from the threats beyond. This chaos we face is but one of God's many trials. Let us restore our kingdom's glory together!
Moving right along, we come next to His Eminence's champion, the very spear in his hand, the warrior monk captain of the Crown Theocracy, Master Guido!
I come before you only in loyal service of His Eminence. I relinquish the throne to him gladly. But those who would seize the crown by force, I will teach you to fear God and to fear me!
So much for this being a fair competition. How many horses do the Sanctus have in this race? Still, it's not over by far. The Luis supporters won't take this lying down.
What cowardice, Friar! Where's Count Louise?
Right, all right, settle down. At this time, I can report that Count Luis has not applied to enter the tournament.
What? He's not even entering?
Then what becomes of us? Our entire purpose in this race was to get closer to him.
Don't worry. He's definitely paying attention. He's only in second as it is, so we can't afford to ignore this whole production. Sit tight. I'm sure he'll make a move soon.
All right, all right. For those Count Luis supporters, you might want to meet our next entrant. A rising socialite, a man of ambition, godless and fearless, the brash young warrior serving Count Luis, Gladel, the Black Hound.
Him? So he was one of Luis's men.
The fallen king embraced Sanctism and all its holy tenets, and for what? He was nothing before Lord Luis. Look to the sky all you wish. No god can save you! What our country needs is power! Well, it's not quite all the contenders, but let's get on with the introductions. The great liberal merchant, it's Roger Ward. By war, by conquest, by right, it's Rudolph Kraus. In it more for the gauntlet runners than the throne, it's Lena Caden. Sure to be popular by pledging free drinks for life, it's Loveless O'Shea. Uplifting the beautiful and deposing the hideous, it's Milo Maurizio.
Wow, if we lose this, I think the country has some even bigger problems.
Now, I do believe we have one final candidate. Do we have an Elden boy present? Come on, let's see a face.
What? An elder? Disgraceful. Is this the only way you could think to distinguish yourself?
By the way, the ride you applied with still hasn't arrived. And, if it doesn't show up by the time the noon bell rings, you're disqualified. All right?
Hey! What's going on?
That nitwit! What is he doing?
So, contestants, are you ready?
What? Last, I say! Wait! Found you behave!
A land runner?
It's quick!
Wait, it's headed right for them!
It'll crash!
Whoa!
What the heck is that?
Wonderful. So much for a first impression.
What ho? Isn't she a marvel, chums?
You don't! You nearly brought down the cathedral! Have a care, you fool. It was bad enough when Luis did it the first time. That feckless, shameless old fool.
Not bad, kid. Guess you've got some interesting tricks up your sleeve after all. Right! I'd call that a full roster. Ladies and gentlemen, race across the land. Go! Prove yourself worthy and earn your crown. For the people, for the throne. Let the games begin!
We must take to the road.
Come on, come on! So fast! Gotta hold on to something or I'll get blown up!
It's incredible!
Hey, this did not more than expected. I gained a lot of interest, but consider this part of my mission to aid the prince.
Just a sec.
Wow, what's with this thing?
Can you hear me?
Shall I just run her along the main road then? The others seem to be doing as much. They're just as crazy as this runner. I'll take that as a compliment, little lady. Now, let's have some coordinates for this test run. What is happening now? We want to go to a place called Martyria. Old Castle Town, I think. Should be south.
Wow!
4 days, 3 nights. 4 days and 3 nights.
Spectacular!
Now cross those bridges. Shops are full, so you have
This is amazing! I don't know a thing about gauntlet runners, but even I can tell this is a hell of a craft. I can hardly believe she's ours to drive.
You're telling me, lad? Feels like ages since I've been out on the open road. This girl's been waiting long enough for her time to shine.
So this is what you used to talk with the driver? Convenient, that. Look, old fellow, are you really on our side? You realize we don't have funds to pay you.
Money? Ha! I'm not in this for the money, boy. What I want is a little gusto. What do you think, lad? Isn't this a rush?
It is at that. Like riding the wind.
That's the ticket. It's been so long since I've had a good chinwag.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
You've a good head on your shoulders, boy. Yes, I can tell you're a sharp one. Where to, ladies? The world is our shellfish.
You certainly are a different person behind the wheel.
Hey, Hulkenberg! Can we get an explanation yet?
That man is Neurus. An Ishkia, if 'twas not obvious from the wings. And despite everything, he was heir to a noble house and personal machinist for the royal family.
What?
He's a master engineer, of course, positively peerless. But as you can see, the runners get him a bit excitable. Neurus? Are you there? I'm coming in. Even amidst all this commotion in town, I find you buried in your work.
Too much to do.
As always. To business, then. I must ask a favor. Would you be able to ready a carriage for me?
No new commissions. No time for them. Ask another right.
It is not a new one I require. Before His Highness disappeared, did you not accept a contract to build him a custom carriage? Without a formal owner, I reasoned that it must now lie unused. I was hoping I might borrow it a short while.
But, pish and tosh, woman. She is for royal use and naught else.
'Tis an unreasonable request, I know. But I'd not be asking without a grave need. Might I at least see it?
I mean, well,
'Twas specially made for His Highness, yes? Not a work you'd have sold off. Where lies it now?
I've deadlines to meet, dash it! Off with you now! Leave me be!
You've been acting stranger than usual. What ails you?
Whoa!
Good God. Is this a gauntlet runner? The very craft commissioned for His Highness the Prince? Even knowing His Highness was gone, still you toiled away. Oh, Neurus, you are an inspiration. Such nobility of purpose.
Yes. Right.
However, for a craft meant for the royal family, it is rather excessive, isn't it? Did you really build this vehicle exactly to their orders? You cannot mean...
Well, at first, certainly. I followed the blueprints exactly. But then His Highness died, and... well, I couldn't just let the old girl waste away. A masterpiece like her? Collecting dust in storage? No! Unacceptable! Unthinkable! I'm working toward a dream. And this poor old girl is going to help me see it through. And then, finally...
You imbecile! A lowly, brazen court engineer butchering His Highness's inheritance for a hobby! For this mania! You embezzled the royal treasury and disrespected his legacy! Treason!
Mercy, please! Look, take my head if you must, milady. But leave the Balliol runner alone.
Look, this runner... Tis fully operational now, is it? Then I suggest you cooperate. For both our sakes. Finish your tinkering by tomorrow and bring it to the Grand Cathedral as soon as you can.
Eh? What's all this now? You play the proud soldier at me and then pluck it for your own schemes?
'Tis no scheme. I would use it for His Highness's sake.
For His Highness, eh? Hold a tick. Haven't you been looking for him? wandering across God knows where last I heard. So if you're back now and now you want a gauntlet runner for His Highness... Is His Highness still alive? That's it! I've got you, haven't I?
'Twas His Highness who gave you refuge while you were only a heretical scholar condemned by the Sanctists. The time has come to repay His mercy.
Understood.
Is that enough? Can this old duck really handle an undercover operation?
I know what you're thinking, but 'tis at least true that he feels an undying debt of gratitude to the royal family.
Pish and tosh, boy. A little faith. Not to brag, but this old duck's craft might be the fastest gauntlet runner in the kingdom. Quite probably the world.
I think. Maybe.
How encouraging.
All I want is to push this runner as far and as fast as she can go. Show her off to the world. And you? Well, I presume you'd rather work together than have to walk, eh?
I don't know about this, but I guess we'll just have to trust him. What do you think?
I think we can count on him.
If you're sure, I suppose. We'll deal with it if we have to.
Either way, he knows the prince is alive, so we can't just leave him to his own devices. We're all in the same boat. Or runner, I guess.
You lot can handle the fighting, and I'll handle all the driving and grease work. Just make sure you've got a proper plan for all this mess now.
This guy's got no filter. But he has a point. We do need to talk strategy.
So, summing up. Our first trial is to slay a monster. We take its head as proof, then get it to the goal line before the deadline. The bigger the head, the better. Our destination is Port Brylehaven, the capital of the Western Principality of Oceania. It'd be a trek on foot, but this gauntlet runner should make it a snap.
So getting the bounty's head is our next move. And our target is a nefarious criminal who's been kidnapping and selling off children. Right?
A criminal? Did the task not specify a monster's head?
Don't worry, all part of the plan. We don't need to win this thing. We just need to get Luis's attention. Everyone's going to show up with monster heads, and we shake things up with a felon. A knight-turned-kidnapper at that. Shows them we're there for justice.
But to deliberately violate the rules, we risk being disqualified entirely. Then again, 'tis just as likely to win the people's attention and thereby Luis's. I do understand the intent. What do you think of this plan?
I trust all of you completely.
Good enough for me. A captain's got to trust his crew, after all. The bounty's Heisme, an ex-knight. I realize that's a little close to home, Hulkenberg, so if you'd rather hang back...
No. His title is precisely why I cannot let his atrocities stand. And yet... 'tis strange indeed that we are hunting a mere man when the trial demands a monster. Then again, our true aim is beyond the ambitions of any other aspirant. Our fate rests in this plan of yours, Stroll.
Thank you. I'll try to ensure your trust isn't misplaced.
Righto. Then our course is set. Feel free to use anything in the gauntlet runner. Even got a bathing room if you could use a wash.
Good to know. We can always look around more thoroughly later.
Yes. You needn't tire yourself out before we arrive.
Well, I'm a tinkerer and not much else. All my fighting happens in the old workshop. But I'll take you wherever you're going for your sake and mine. After all, the wilds out there are no berry picnic. Oh, no. It's a den of wild beasts and savage scoundrels. And I'll not get past it without days on the road together. So, if you need anything besides a steady hand on the wheel, give me a hoot. Bound to find me in the cockpit or the engine room.
He's certainly an eccentric, but he doesn't seem like a bad person. We'll get used to him, I suppose.
The Gauntlet Runner has various areas for different activities, such as the strategy room, the lounge, and the kitchen. You can also visit Academia by finding more and interacting with it. Let's visit the engine room first. Take your time and have a look around on your way there. Even the Gauntlet Run, I kind of want to see the engine room. Like,
All right, then. Oh.
really the ingredients I needed.
Got it.
Okay. Make meals here. That's the engine room. Those are the bunks. Machine. I don't know what that's for, but cool. There's more.
Now, where was I? Now, where was...
Do make yourself at home.
See, Johnny's again, man. All manner of people across the archetypes are influenced by connections, hearts, so to speak, which means the more hearts you encounter, the more your own might grow. And so we look forward to seeing what your journey will bring to my research. Eee, doggy.
Oh.
Oh.
Yes,
You'll
I
come
know.
again.
I know that's a cat. Why not makes this thing run? First time on a gauntlet runner, eh? Well, excuse me, look like the pipes in here too. Called a runner phone. There's one in every room.
Spectacular.
Nah, I believe I heard you speculating on the old girl's inner workings. Gauntlet runners use magma crystals as fuel to run, you see. Used to be you take your life in your hands when you travel the wilds. Then, thanks to the kingdom's greatest mind, the Gauntlet runners were born. The runner's actual legs were based on a colossus beast, made for zero momentum loss even on the roughest terrain. Among other things, I modified this craft for a bit more zip and speed, another step closer to my dream. What dream? Long story, my girl. Best told to a captive audience with no plan for the next 3 days and nights. Never mind, Dave. Really sorry. Anyway, still plenty of the old girl that works in the progress, but by the time I'm done, she'll have some new tricks. She'll watch. It'll be sunset before long, so start thinking about bedding down for the night. Can't run in the dark. The old girl needs to rest as much as we do. You'll continue toward your destiny while spending time on the Gauntlet Runner. Utilize its facilities to obtain items, raise abilities, and other things you wouldn't be able to do in town. Try using the kitchen, reading books in the bookshelf, or using the washroom. Warranties will become available over time. You can also spend time with your allies while traveling, which may help you improve your base. The choice is yours.
Understood.
What now? Increases naturally for you. What does this do?
Come on. Got it.
Speaking of.
Oh, Johnny, that's a few learning. How shiny these? Use a gauntlets runner cooking table to whip up some food. Eating prepared meals, drink parties, very positive effects. The cook will need ingredients. Buy them, win them, or find them lying around. Try to experiment as much as possible. If you made a dish at once, you may learn how to create all the culinary recipes. Let's cook.
Let's check.
That's what this show wanted to make. What do you care? I'll go get him.
Now then.
First, often this is simply referred to a meal as meat. Something to keep in mind is where to cut it from. The taste and texture can change drastically, you know. Each type of cut has an odd preparation. If you do it right, it's not delicious. Sometimes it's try for what you say. So what kind of cut do you have here? Never mind. Just leave it to me. Watch your meat and adjust the heat. So it goes, although it depends on what you preference. It's really. It's nearly time. No, it is time. Strike now.
Alright.
Yes, not bad so far. See the juices there? There's proof this is turning out delicious. We add a little something for the aroma and we're done, but just a little or overshadow the flavor. I made a strong I made this is looking dish cooked to perfection. It's curative cornero. Smells great, doesn't it? Now imagine how it tastes.
Camp as the scorching sun sinks below the horizon and the curtain of night falls over the land. Protected within the stalwart hull of the Gauntlet Runner, the party gains a short, peaceful respite.
At night, the Vesperine outside town is scored in darkness, forcing your way through the Ontario's ratings, easy for the stars out. Instead, establish camp somewhere safe. You can resume your travels the next morning. While in the camp, you use any of the facilities on the Gauntlet Runner like usual, but you can also reminisce about the journey with your allies. Give it a try. 3 days until we reach Matishia. Our first time camping on the Gauntlet Runner. I'm kind of excited, but it'll be a long night, so why don't we spend some time relaxing with someone?
Well met.
As overburdened for time as I am, I'm certainly no stranger to traveling, but I have an idea of seeing out of hours of you. Want to talk a bit? Sure, let's talk. There's power we walk into. I have all sort of questions, but what I really find curious are these forms we take on. Each has unique aspects, but one bit they all have in common is their armor-like appearance. What do you make of that? It's very bizarre. I ain't never seen armor like that. True, the design do set them apart, but that's not the actual appearance I meant to ask about. In my opinion, the armor encloses the raging force within us, allowing us to direct that power, as one directs a horse by its reins. It is said people lose their magic because they refuse to confront their fears and anxieties, forever unaware of that power lurking within them. It is not that then the very condition to awaken our slumbering power, also hence why it is so exhausting and why it cannot be maintained for a long time. The ravenous appetite I had afterwards is proof. We'll do well to practice diligence, maintaining our food reserves. I remember I talked. Okay. Damn. It's getting quite late, but we got a ways to go yet. So we'd very much like to continue chatting with you.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Good morning.
I trust that super cores more exceeded your expectations, eh? They're better than I feared, considering how tiny they are, but I got questions of my own. Isn't the desert and going to do a number on this runner? My boy, remember who maintains this worker girl? Nearly a grain of sand could fit between her scene. I assure you, regardless, we'll be leaving those eerie dunes behind tomorrow. Wow, runners really are neat, aren't they? A carriage would never be able to get through the desert this fast. But, just keep an eye on the road, okay, nurse? Weapons. That time I you join us for sure. Yeah.
Now then.
Alright, let's have a look at your blade.
Got a moment?
You think I'm getting ahead of myself here, but after things settle down, I like to live without the sword. And my idea of a world where monsters and senseless violence don't exist, where nothing is taken from you by others. That's why one day I wish to serve as your whole child to its former glory, and not just mine, all the ruined hometown.
Hey!
How about you? I share my plans, let's hear yours. What do you do when the fight's over? I'd like to help you. I'd like to help you with rebuilding. Haha, are you serious? I'm a bit relieved to hear it, tell you the truth. I got to get stronger, even if the village gets rebuilt. It's all for naught if it's attacked by monsters again. I won't be strong enough to rid this country of monsters, not leaving its spineless armies and its incompetent generals. They only have the power to kill those who oppose them. They have no desire to protect their people, just like Louise. We'll fight for change.
Yeah.
I agree, but seeing the state of our country's army, I'm all more glad that you're a captain, truly. You resolved to stand on the front lines of our fight, so it's only right you lead. Ha! Our fight, I say. I forced my way into your mission.
Hey.
I envy you sometimes, you know, to act with such convictions. How does one become so bold? I do what I must, I waver sometimes.
No.
I do have moments where I waver. I suppose we all do. I manage to keep a cool head when you do. Unlike me, that's why you're our captain. All this to say, I have faith in you. We're more battled ahead, and I'll be counting on you to get us through them. In the end, the king will be determined by what the people think of as justice. They're free to make their choice, but as it's so being chosen, I wonder who will end up being after all this. Anyways, the sword's shining like new. Let's finish this up.
All right.
I say, we could stop for a break.
Coming now into view is the Tree of Prophecy, a resplendent tapestry of color against the backdrop of the bleak desert. One theory is that the tree's roots gorge on the land's magla, and still another is that it gorges on those enraptured by its colorful foliage, as though themselves snared by the bewitching magla surrounding the tree. The Gauntlet Runner comes to a stop at its base.
Here we are. Shall we get a closer look? Tree of Prophecy. It's so pretty. It's not just the leaves, it's as though the whole area has been painted red.
Certainly.
This place calls to mind the picture book I read as a child. It told of a great tree located somewhere within the country whose colors shifted to foretell unusual events in the times ahead. How exactly would a tree foretell the future, and how does a plant grow with huge in the middle of the desert? I'm not sure if this explains it, but I'm sensing an incredible amount of magla in the area here. If your hypothesis is correct, that would make this no mere tree, no sir, but a magical organism that feeds off of magla. As a matter of scientific research, I was shocked with this discovery.
Hey.
Wow, Nora, how did you get so good at drawing? Oh my boy, meticulous documentations is the foundation of all good research. There you have it. I'm finished. Here, take it as a keepsake.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I already committed all the safety to my mind. I have no need for the sketch itself anymore.
Hey there!
Hey, why don't we get back to Maria? I bet she'd love to see something from our journey so we could tell her a story about this place.
Huh?
True. A magical organism in the form of a tree, say, aren't fairies in the same classification? Precisely, Gallagher is the most precious treasure as well. It's been observing her very closely, which has given me great insight into my own research into flight. What, you've been observing me this whole time? I don't recall you asking, so knock it off.
However,
turning our attentions back to the tree, I've heard that it tints itself blue to herald the arrival of favorable developments. I wonder what manner of anomaly its current color portends.
All right.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives in a quiet clearing, concealed by boulders, as darkness reclaims the wilderness for itself. Monsters run rampant in the wilds. To sleep here would be perilous, unless from within the safety of a Gauntlet Runner. The party, secure in their Gauntlet Runner, spends the night in peace, hidden from hungry gazes.
I'm feeding Materia the day after tomorrow. I don't know what kind of place Materia is. Let's save. Also, BRB. Actually, I'm gonna save it again, and I'm gonna have to be back later. Gonna go eat dinner, but I will be back.
What now?